quality handmade soaps, where handmade is the best made. Proudly making soap for over 5 years, Quality Handmade Soap sets the standard in both quality and safe ingredients. Perfect for the holiday season. I'm telling you right now, you see that Black Rose soap, I got that in my shower, and man, let me tell you what, your husband or wife will love it. Use promo code VHHN2022 to get 15% off your first purchase. Link is in the description box. Let's go.
No doubt, no doubt. We all often, I should say, get actors on here and actresses, and we ask them all the time, especially black ones, about black men wearing the dresses in Hollywood. We've seen a whole bunch of them do it, as well as their white counterparts. What is your take on that? And have you ever been offered a demeaning role that you turned down?
My take on that is, you hear all the rumors that you got to put on the dress in Hollywood to make it and all that. You know what? Hey, that could be true. There could be some truth to that. My whole thing is this: if it's in you to want to put on a dress and play a character and portray your mom or your sister or so, then that's different. If it's by you, if you want to do it, if it's something somebody wants you to do, and deep down in your heart you don't want to do it, and you do it, that's where I kind of have the problem. That's where it's like, I have been offered roles or scenes in a particular TV show I was on where I had to put on something that was kind of coonery, and I refused to do it, and I stood my ground. And I don't knock anyone who wants to put on a dress if they want to portray a certain character and bring it out. Hey, that's cool. But if it's something you think you gotta do just to get in, or something you don't want to do and you end up doing, then that's where I may have a little bit of pushback on that. But I can't tell another man how to guide his career. I can't tell another man how to choose his roles. But I know for me, it's not in my wheelhouse.
In the black community, we have a tendency to not agree all the time. And if you don't agree, you may be labeled a coon, you may be labeled a Tom, you may be labeled this.
Or a hater.
Or a hater.
Right.
It's unfortunate. But like you see somebody like a Terry Crews, and he do some real suspect behavior, but we shun him so early. How do you feel about like a Terry Crews? Are we too quick to kind of pull the trigger on things like that? Or used to that?
I know Terry Crews, man. Terry Crews always been cool to me, man. And I when he spoke out against the agent touching him inappropriately, I thought that was brave. I thought that was like, yeah, why, do that. And some of the comments he's made, do I agree with? No, not at all. But there's a lot of people I don't agree with. I don't agree with some of the stuff in the Bible, but it's the word I read every day, and I live and what I live by. But with Terry, it's like I had this conversation last night about Michael Jordan, and how he never spoke up against. And I used to have that whole mentality, like that he ain't speaking up for black sprites and stuff like that, whatever. But if you're not wired that way, you're not wired that way. And then sometimes we get caught up into that. If that's not who he is, then that's not who he is. Yeah, he has a big platform and all of that. But if that's not who he is, that's not who he is. Like, I'm wired that way. I'm going to speak out and speak my mind because I'm wired that way. But we expect people to be who we want them to be. And that's how people get fucked up, especially in this business of Hollywood, where they're not happy. They're not happy because they try to be somebody that you wanted them to be. And they got so far away from who the fuck they really are that now they don't know who the fuck they are. Rather than just being yourself. That's one of the regrets I do have in this business, because early on in my career, I got caught up into that and try to balance that. But with Terry, if that's his beliefs and that's what he believes in, then that's him. That's how he's wired. Then go for it. Sometimes black people, as much as I love us, sometimes we are knee jerk. And sometimes we too quick, and I'm that way. I'm guilty of that too.
Yeah.
Sometimes we gotta sit back, look at the facts, but also respect somebody's opinion. And just because their opinion is different from ours doesn't mean, unless you're Trump, somebody's opinion is different from ours doesn't mean that they're wrong. That means they're different. Period. And you got to respect other people's opinion, man. And you may not agree with it because there's some other things you do agree with. So you're gonna dismiss that whole person and all the stuff that you do agree with them on for one comment you don't agree with them on. We're so quick to do that, and I think we need to relax because all that unnecessary shit we carry is on us because it's not a them problem, it's a you problem. People got a problem with me, it ain't a me problem, that's you. I'm cool, so I control me, and we got to stop taking things so personal sometimes. Sometimes you take things personal, and it's not about you. It's about how fucked up that other person is, and you end up turning and taking it personal. Man, I give a damn. In this industry of entertainment, you can't take shit personal because you have people out there who's not gonna like you for no reason. You got people out there who want to be in your spot, and they're gonna not like you for no reason. I've been guilty of that and a victim of that. So, I'm learning as I grow, as I'm 51. Yeah, I'm still fucking learning about life. So, it is what it is, man.
Definitely. I'm gonna go back to Tupac and ask you, is this true or not? I was reading an article and it was pretty much saying that at the height of the East-West Coast beef, you really didn't want to be hanging around with Tupac for whatever reason. Is that real talk or what?
It wasn't I didn't want to hang around him. It was a concert we left at the House of Blues, and he wanted to hang out. And he was like, and it was a high the East Coast, West Coast, beef. He was in I think he was in his cream Rolls Royce drop top, and he was at where's the after party? And there was this club called Peanuts in LA. It was a lesbian spot, but they had some badass women in that motherfucker there.
Sure
Man, they had some badass women in there. And I told him about the spot. And he's like, well, let's roll. And I was like, look, I say all the time, I'm from the streets, but I ain't street. So I was just like, man, he had no security with him. It was just me and him. And I didn't roll with, I didn't come with him. I met him there at the concert. It was either LL Cool J and the Fugees or one of those concerts. But I ended up acting like I had a fake text. It was when you had the pagers from a page. We weren't calling text back then. I had a fake page from a chick. I was like, oh man, this chick outside my crib. I forgot. I forgot I told her to meet me there. And he said, oh, go handle that. Where that club at? I told him where it was, and I was out. But there was no chick in front of my crib. I wish there was a chick in my bed, but it was no chick.
I don't blame you, brother. Let me just say that. Fuck that. But let's talk about. Let me transition to American History X real quick, man, because that was such a powerful role that you played it alongside Ed Norton, and that shit seemed real. I mean, when I seen him as a skinhead and them skinheads, that shit seemed very genuine. Great acting, but I mean, just they made them roles. Talk about the set and how that made you feel on set.
It was a difficult set to be on, because we had a great director who was a first-time director, who was a method director. You hear method actors, he's a method director. But he wanted real skinheads on the set, like straight up real. Trust me, he wouldn't find a lack of them motherfuckers today with 45 in office. But he wanted real skinheads on the set so he had a lot of skinheads come in, and they were a lot of the extras. They were real skinheads, and there wasn't a lot of blacks on the set. There was days I was the only black on the set sometimes. So, I mean, that movie, Ed Norton is such a dynamic actor, such a great actor. I learned so much from it. I didn't agree with his process of how he handled certain scenes, but it was a method to his madness. And, it helps make them one of the greatest actors of our generation. But it was stressful, but it helped me. I was able to turn that stress into, the darkness I needed for the character and the comedy I needed for the character. So I learned a lot, man, from just filmmaking, from, knowing film is more subtle than it is sitcoms. Sitcoms is y'all wild and crazy all over the place. and sitcoms and film is more subtle. So it taught me a lot, man. But that I didn't realize how the impact it would have, even to this day in 2020. It's still a relevant movie, and it's not a week that goes by that someone mentions it to me, no matter where I am in the country or the world. They mention that movie to me. They either recognize my voice and they be like, "Well, you recognize Rex?" Or they recognize my face. And it's just so sad that we still dealing with that same bullshit today. That's why I say, we have a mental illness problem in this country, not a racist problem. Because if you're still racist, you're mentally ill. Yep, I called you fucking crazy. I sure fuck did. Come see me.